Ladies and gentlemen, this is UX and this is Crippled the game more than ever before with a nightmare construction. Satisfactory by the channel, let's game it out. Okay, he already did the nightmare construction the previous video where he created some kind of a conveyor belt weave. Before that he created a tornado. Yeah, it's just getting amped up, right? Weave was so ridiculous because obviously tornado is tall, but weave was so long spanning, like you could see fog where it was reaching, right? That's how long spanning it was. So yeah, it was ridiculous. I don't know what he's going to do here, but yeah, it's just getting crazier and crazier. People will write on the comments. So let's watch it.
Hey there, this is Josh. Welcome back to Let's Game It Out. Oh boy, it's time for more Satisfactory. Here's a quick recap. Satisfactory is a beautiful game where you get to build efficient factories, or in my case, the total opposite of that. First I built this conveyor belt system, and then I built it again, bigger and in the air. Then we built a tornado version of this, where if you look directly at it, it destroys your frame rate. And then after that, we set a new record in efficiency and built the conveyor weave. For the record, all of these machines work. Like the weave here is supposed to deliver coal, and it totally does that, but I've timed it, and it takes about 3 hours to do what could be done in about 30 seconds. Oh, and I did get a couple people asking in the comments how long it took to build the weave. The answer there is about 5 hours. So I guess I should have said that other people are out there making awesome, efficient factories, and we're just making abomination after abomination over here. And also I had a couple people that were very disappointed that I had all 6 of my coal factories in like a line like this, all orderly. They want me to do it a little more chaotic, so we're gonna fix that right now. Here he goes. Is this what you wanted? Is this a better configuration for the coal generators? I call it the coal generator tree. All right, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and handle some of the other duties.
People are fitting into his addiction, I guess. This is ridiculous. Even though, you know what, I'm not gonna lie, this is not more of chaotic, this looks cool, I guess. Yeah, maybe there's some practical reason to do it like this. Fuck it. Just assume that and make this. This is so good.
I call it the coal generator tree. All right, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and handle some of the other duties here. We have tiers 5 and tier 6. Each one of these has a milestone cost that we have to fulfill. The good news is that because it took this weave so freaking long to make, I actually have all the materials already. For example, motors are a big thing we're gonna need. We have motors really for the rest of our lives. So here you go, oil processing. Take all these supplies and launch. For reasons unknown to me, because I probably just didn't pay attention, every time you achieve a milestone, it launches stuff into space. I like to believe we're just paying homage to the sky gods. And industrial manufacturing needs...
It's obviously the, you know, supply, isn't it? I mean, you're gonna make all this different shit. You have to sell it. I guess that space elevator is that, like you sending it to society or whatever, right? To sell. I mean, if you have a factory, you have to sell, otherwise what's the point of the fucking factory?
It's a quick bunch of resources, and then we just go ahead and slam that launch button. Tier 6, I'm gonna have to figure out how to make a couple of these things. I've never made a heavy modular frame before, or a computer actually. Shouldn't be too hard. Building a computer requires us to build some stuff we've never built before, including circuit boards and plastic. Plastic looks like it's gonna require oil, but that's cool because now we have access to the oil pump and oil refinery. These require those heavy modular frame things, which here they are. I have all this stuff actually. I've got the modular frames for sure. I've got tons of steel pipe, encased industrial beam. Well, would you look at this? These encased industrial beams are so easy to make and I have so many supplies, I'm just gonna make them by hand. You're welcome. God, I'm just over here crafting stuff for these modular frames and I just kind of look over and I see this and I'm like, oh, what's happening over here? Oh, it's just my power plants, no big deal. Okay, so I made my heavy modular frames. That didn't take too long to make them by hand. Let's go see if we can find some oil, which we can scan for now. Ta-da! All we need to do is wait for the thing to return with, oh god, is there no oil anywhere? Where's that dinosaur blood? I need it. Ah, there we go. It's only a mere 2,000 meters away. If I convert that from the metric system, I'm pretty sure that means it's only about 300 miles away. So this should pass by real... Wait, what is this? Wow, this journey is already amazing. Doesn't it look kind of like that S that we all drew in middle school? Hiccup, Sommer, Sloop, work in progress. That's what I like to see. Of course I'm gonna collect it. Strange alien thing with a mind-bending and somehow familiar shape. Analyzing this will not give you anything. Well, then I'm gonna hold on to it and give it to somebody for Valentine's Day. We're going into...
Yeah, they intended it that way, right? The strange alien thing with a mind-bending, somehow familiar shape. It does look like that. These are the cards, look at that. They made it into that ass. Yeah, the line.
Analyzing this will not give you anything. Well, then I'm gonna hold on to it and give it to somebody for Valentine's Day. We're going into some weird exotic places now on the way to find, oh, this looks dangerous. I don't know if I was really prepared for all this, but we're gonna do it anyway. Isn't there something I can like eat around here? What's this? Oh, cool. It's like a bacon mushroom. Nummy nummy num. Don't mind me, nature. I'm just coming through on my way to extract oil. You don't mind if I build an elaborate conveyor belt system in here later, do you? Wow, this is quite the treacherous journey to get oil. Why does all of nature want to kill me? Good God. God, this is the direction to
making
the
them hard
oil?
to
How is
breathe.
this the same planet I was just on? Well, I did it. We're here. I found the oil site. I'm just gonna walk around in it for a while to show my victory against nature. Okay, well, this oil isn't just for looking at. Let's build something. Just go ahead and
you can't
put
pick it
this.
up.
And we have ourselves an oil pump. I feel like I'm ruining the environment already. Oh, crap. Power. These are things I didn't think about. Wait a minute. Does this stuff all just come out on a conveyor belt? Well, I'm not against running a conveyor belt all the way back home. I think we know what we need to do, and that's start building the conveyor belt. Not even intelligently. We're just gonna take this as far as we can go. Good news, everybody. We can build conveyor belts right into the water. Oh, fiddlesticks. We've run out of material. Okay, I ran all 9 million miles home.
I like how he's just using China mentality, right? Oh, there's a place to go. Fuck it, let's build a bridge there. That's what China has been doing for past, what, a decade or something. I've seen many, like Grand Tour and many other shows where they show like ridiculous amount of just, old bridges and bridges spanning through mountains and shit. He's just like, oh, look at that oil, I need it back home. Fuck it, let's create conveyor belts.
Let's suit back up, run some power lines, get that oil extracted, and then let's never go back there ever again. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff right there. When you build your power lines in the water, we want to make sure as much wildlife as possible gets close to touching these things. All right, step one's complete. We managed to run a power line all the way through to, uh-oh, it's already going. Yep, look, here they go, right underwater. I guess that makes sense. NBD. And wouldn't you know, we're almost back home. I can tell because I can see the tornado and my frame rate's dying. I know the perfect place to have this oil go to. I think it probably behooves us to have the oil closer and closer to home base. Easy.
I love how I created a tornado belt, not thinking that how it's gonna work in the future, but now it's just cool. Like, okay, I'm going close to my factory, close to mom every time you see it, right? It's like whenever you approach a major city, you see skyscrapers. Oh, look at that, I'm back home.
Don't look directly at it. All right, I found a good place for my oil refinery. Ta-da! No, not the tornado, silly. In the tornado. That's right, delicately wrapped in 8 million zillion jillion tons of conveyor belts is our oil refinery. So first God, the frame rates. All right, so it couldn't be simpler. Oil goes in there. No. How far am I falling? Okay, still alive. Such a nightmare trying to work in here. Okay, let's configure the oil refinery. What's going on with... Oh God, I didn't realize that you have to tell it to do 3 specific types of things. Okay, it's settled. We're building 3 oil refineries in here because I never want to come in here again. I'm glad we managed to get all 3 factories in there, but it looks a little, unkempt. But don't worry, I think I know how to fix this. Okay, so I think I've fixed the problem. Just trying to get a good vantage point so I can show it off all proper-like. I present to you the conveyor belt cocoon. There are 3 oil refineries in there just waiting to do some processing. Hey, can you imagine the game running worse than it did before? Because guess what? It does. Like,
Obviously.
a lot worse. When I first fired this game up, it was like a beautiful 60 frames a second. And now it's like I'm in a constant state of having an aneurysm. So that's not all. I actually haven't flipped the switch yet. Pretty busy inside this cocoon. We have lots of materials going in and out here, but we have one last thing we need to bridge if I can get up to it. Because if the frame rate wasn't tanking hard enough, what I'm about to do will probably just make it worse. Right now I'm scaling the first half of the cocoon. See that little opening right there? That's what I'm gonna bridge. Here's a nice view of the inside here, running at a very spectacular less than 1 frame per second. So we're just gonna...
This looks like some Star Wars or something. Some ridiculously, crazy looking structure, scary looking structure. Inside that many different important stuff happening.
Gonna close this gap right here. Here we go. Now the oil is going freely. It's gonna go all the way around. Did the barrels make it? Because I can't see them, but that doesn't mean they aren't there. Once the materials finally all come out of here, which is rubber, I think gasoline, and plastic, the non-biodegradable kind, I send all the conveyor belts right into the space elevator just to show it who's boss. While the cocoon does its thing, I need to get as far away from it as possible. We need to unlock all 3 of these, and since the recipes are all the same, all we really need to do is focus on making these fun things here. Heavy modular frames aren't too hard. We pretty much have all the parts we need. One thing we do need to make a machine for is encased industrial beams. Should be pretty easy to design a machine that makes those for us. Computers are going to be the more complicated one. Cable, plastic, and screws are pretty easy to come by, but we're also going to have to make circuit boards. And circuit boards require plastic and wire. All of this not really all that hard. We just need to make the machines to do it. And I think I might know just the place to settle this stuff up. It's nice and far away from the cocoon, but blissfully close to the weave. I guess so so long as my frame rate isn't safe anywhere, we're in good shape. God, the barrels of crude oil and all that coal coming in really brings out the natural beauty of the landscape. I never thought I'd be happy to see the weave. I'm just like, oh man, look at all these frames I've got now. Actually, no, it's still really bad here. All right, so let me show you a little bit of what I did here. I've got my coal being mined here, goes into this splitter here, goes into one coal generator here. This coal gets a nice, beautiful scenic view of the weave before going into this splitter and going into another coal generator that we needed. Meanwhile, this big pile of coal goes on a magical wild ride. The coal eventually goes into this foundry. This guy over here is mining iron ore, which is also being fed into the foundry, where it's making steel ingots. Steel ingots pop out and head over into this machine, where it's making steel beams. Some of the steel ingots also go a different direction and head over to this constructor that's making steel pipe. I also set up a guy here that's mining limestone, which turns into concrete, which gets fed into this assembler along with the pipes to make an alternate recipe I have to make encased steel beams, at which point my beautiful encased steel beams pop out of this machine and collects them in this storage unit that I'm standing on top of. To make our heavy modular frames, we're gonna shove everything into this device called the manufacturer, a big beautiful hulking beast, which we're gonna place way out of the way for no reason. First one to connect is gonna be the modular frames. Next we have our steel pipe and our
Actually, it's good that he's putting it way far away, because if he just jams everywhere around the fucking tornado or cocoon, whatever that is, then I'm pretty sure the weave is kind of closer too, considering the whole area. If he does all that, I'm pretty sure sooner or later the game's gonna break, right? Engine's gonna break, because there's a limit how many shit you can create before game doesn't play anymore.
industrial beams here, and last but not least, screws. Now that I've got everything plugged into the manufacturer here, let's configure it to make the heavy modular frames. While this madness is going on, let's go ahead and set up our thing to make the computers. If this is where that factory is right there, we're gonna build it way the hell out here, on this mysterious little mesa here, which is clearly poisonous. This is probably their defense mechanism, so we don't bother them, which means we're gonna bother them as much as we possibly can with a giant hulking machine. I don't care if you hurt me, this thing is gonna be built right here. Alright, flee before we die. I don't care that I died. The factory will live on. It's actually probably better this way so we can build some stuff from over here. And just a reminder, the way we have to build these computers is to...
Yeah, so when all the videos are done, I'm pretty sure you can just see the horizon. There's just going to be factories, factories, and fucking factories, right?
Combine these four things down below. So that's circuit boards, cable, plastic, and screws. All the building blocks to make a sick rig. Before we can just feed all of that into this machine over here, we're gonna have to build some other factories so that we can. After all, those circuit boards aren't just gonna make themselves. Circuit boards are just wire and plastic. Something kinda easy. Imagine my joy. Oh, it's more of you guys. Well, I know where I'm gonna build my next factory. We just need to grab some plastic from the land of the slideshow over here. Then we'll send that plastic right over here into the poison. You know, the first screwed up factory I made was wire, so we're gonna go back to the source and pull some wire from over there. And also, seeing how nothing is moving, I'm pretty sure everything's jammed up, which means there's probably some wire to spare. Wait, can I put the assembler up here? I mean, I don't see why not, right? There we go, perfect. Can I put the power pole like right on top of the alien life form? And the answer is yes. We now have our 3 conveyor belts showing plastic, cabling, and what I assume are some sweet video cards. So we just need to run these things all the way over to where that one thing was. Since you're giving me so much...
Yeah, Intel, Nvidia, who gives a shit, right? It's pretty easy to create processors and chips. Let's just create a circuit board and that's it. Computer's created.
That's nature. How about a little conveyor belt spaghetti for you to look at? You know, I'm thinking about changing my signature to this. Just nothing but loops until I'm politely asked to stop signing my name. Oh look, there it comes now. My first computer, covered in toxic gas. Now we just need 150 of these things so we can unlock the rest of those tiers. That won't take a million years. So while that thing is making the rest of the computers, let's go back to home base and unlock some. Oh god, I looked at it. You know, it is really pretty, although the fact that the top is kind of a red color from all the barrels going through it makes it look kind of like a warhead.
Whoa.
I think obviously we're gonna have to start with the jetpack. 3, 2, 1, launch. All right, I assume I have to build this jetpack. Yep, there it is. Well, this is surprising.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the fact that even from the distance, just because the barrels are red, kind of look reddish, is a great detail, I guess, right? Because after some time, already would just take effect. Like, you know, it's just gonna look kinda what it's supposed to be, but it's not gonna give you much detail. But even checks that there are red barrels, so it's gonna look red. This is awesome.
Surprisingly easy to build. The only component I don't have on myself right now is rubber. Something tells me too we're gonna be using this fuel, so we'll pick up some of that too. Just gotta smack this thing 30 whole times. Get it on my person ASAP. Do I just hold down the button? Oh yeah, that's cool. I just hold down the button and how does it recharge? How does it? Oh boy. Well, I'm sure we all saw that coming. Oh, this is all too much. All right, that's gonna be all for now. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had fun. I know I did. And I'll see you next time.
It's more like a jet jump than jetpack, right? Jetpacks don't get empty that fast. It's so good. I like how he created this kind of a power system on a mountain. It just looks awesome, like some Lord of the Rings shit, right? Some kind of a tree system. And I like how he's just creating things at the distance. His reasoning is just to create more and more ridiculous belt system, right? Conveyor belt system. But by doing that, he's making sure the engine doesn't break. Because if he stress out the same area too much, he won't be able to come back there, right? Because after 1 frame, 2 frame, eventually it's just gonna crash. Yeah. Alright people, that was I Crippled the game more than ever before with new nightmare construction by the channel Let's Game It Out. I like this game, Satisfactory. It is so good. Basically everybody just has this mentality like if you create something in a 3D environment, it becomes a challenge, and it is true, right? Where you get limited with 3D environment. But I like how Satisfactory did lots of things right? It feels really close to Factorio, which is 2D game basically. So this is in 3D. Obviously, Factor had lots of other elements to it that doesn't have, that limitation basically, but it's very close. Right people, I'll see you next time.